You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry ChillyBoy Chilson, and this is a new Game of Thrones reaction video. And of course, for this reaction, I am joined by my co-host, Tyler. Hi, Tyler.
Hello, we're almost a couple episodes in now. Almost, like, I guess it's still 10 episodes, right? So we're not
Yes.
almost at the halfway point, but we're almost there with episode 3 of season 5.
Yes, we're still in the 10 episode seasons currently, but we are chugging our way through season 5
Yeah.
currently up to episode 3. Hi, Sparrow. But
Ooh.
before we get into this third episode, let's talk about what we saw in the second episode. Well, it was named for Arya and the House of Black and White, and she did finally arrive in Bravos, where she arrived at the House of Black and White with those
Yeah.
big Alice in Wonderland ominous doors.
The black and white doors. Yeah, I was like, oh, so that's why the episode's called this.
Yes, and at first she is turned away by a mysterious man in a robe, but later it seems he maybe was just testing her. We don't really know, but it was Jaqen Hagar slash
Everyone.
unnamed man who rips off the face to unveil himself, and he ultimately lets Arya into the House of Black and White. Then we see Podrick and Brienne on the road, and well, they do actually meet up with Littlefinger and Sansa. It wasn't just a close passing ships in the night, thank goodness. But
No.
unfortunately, though, Littlefinger works his manipulation, and Sansa, in an understandably untrusting state in her life, denies Brienne and sends her away. So after mowing down Littlefinger's little brigade of guards, Brienne and Podrick are now resolved to just following Sansa in hopes to protect her against Littlefinger because they don't feel safe with him, and possibly convince Sansa to go with her in the future.
Fingers crossed.
Then we see Cersei receive a gift from Dorne of a red viper holding her daughter's necklace, which prompts Jaime to grab Bronn, and they are now heading off to Dorne. And we get our first glimpse in the Dornish country with Alaria Sand confronting the Prince of Dorne about his inaction after Oberyn's death, and she seems pretty hell-bent on revenge at any cost against the Lannisters. Then we see Cersei heading up a small council meeting in which she is putting Qyburn on the small council. She's doling out roles, and her uncle, Kevin Lannister, is like,
Heaven.
nah, bro. This is not what I'm doing. I'm out of here. You don't hold any actual office, Cersei. Don't forget that.
That's a very Kevin move, if I do say so
A
myself.
very Kevin move. I agree.
Typical Kevin fashion.
Well, then we go up to the wall, and the Night's Watch are now finally electing a replacement for Jeor Mormont, who died all the way back in season 3, midway through season 3. And it seems as though Sir Alistair is the favorite to win the title. But Samwell stands up, roasts Janice Flint real quick, and then nominates Jon Snow in an impassioned speech, which gets him to a tie before Maester Aemon casts his ultimate vote, naming Jon Snow the new Lord Commander of the Watch. Woo! This is after he told Samwell that he wasn't going to accept Stannis' offer to name him Lord of Winterfell and officially make him a Stark. So Jon trying to hold true to his vows. We'll see how many more chances Stannis gives Jon as he continues to try to send out this olive branch.
I'm nervous for him.
It also sees Shireen teaching Gilly how to read, and we saw Celise being rude and weird to her little daughter. Yay.
Usual, yeah.
The huge with that woman.
What else do you expect from them, to be honest?
Then we see Tyrion and Varys on the move. They're in their little ride, presumably on their really roundabout way, it sounded like, from what Varys was saying, to get to Meereen. And that segues into Cersei killing any and all dwarves, basically, that she can get her hands off. Little people, run, please. You are not safe.
You in danger, girl. Or guy, I guess.
Guy, yeah. Then over in Meereen, Daenerys is going to give one of the sons of the Harpy a trial. And before she's able to do so, one of the former slaves, who has kind of been on her small council, takes matters into his own hands and kills the son of the Harpy on his own, which
straight up, yeah,
leads to him being put on trial and executed in front of all of Meereen.
He played himself.
Enrages the former slaves, who hiss at Daenerys and start attacking the former masters themselves. She hightails it out of there, obviously is quite distressed by the whole situation, is in a big conundrum, and sensing his mother's distress, Drogon makes an appearance.
Briefly, yeah.
Very briefly be like, hey, Mom, I'm still alive, but I'm out again. Bye.
They're there. Good luck.
They're there. You're okay.
You'll have fun without me.
And that's where we left off. So let's see what the High Sparrow entails.
Ian Glenn. He's back.
Damn you, credits with your spoilers.
I don't know in what condition, but I'm excited now. Somebody gotta like dust this place off or something. See all those webs looking coming off that statue. Well, somebody keeps up. They got a sweeper. Oh, it's Arya.
Arya came all this way to be the maid.
Damn. I mean, I hope it's worth it. I hope the pay is good.
Come here to sweep floors.
No. Yeah, you tell him, Arya. She's done doing the maid's work. Oh, that water must have not treated that guy too kindly.
Didn't you miss all this riddle questioning kind of talk?
I'm trying my best to comprehend. Poor Arya. What did she get herself into? Yay! Well, she's clearly not very happy, but if looks could kill, you know. Well, all the weddings in this show have taught me that not to be that happy, so won't be too excited, but yeah. Well, getting right to it, huh? Tommen over there is fighting for his life, gasping for air.
I hurt you. Tommen, please.
Yes.
Damn. Minute Man, huh?
Maybe I hurt you. It sounds This is all I want to do. All day, every day, for the rest of my life.
He said, screw that kink business. We're doing this all the time.
Marjorie learned her lesson last time. She said, I can't waste any time.
So strange.
Mm-mm.
Does your mother like it here?
Here we go.
I don't think so. She told me never to trust anyone in King's Landing.
Marjorie's sinking the claws in.
Wonderful to have her watching over you.
What's your end game here?
Do you think she's intelligent?
I can't quite tell.
Oh, come on.
Do you ever miss Casterly Rock?
She's like, she dumb.
For me in Casterly Rock.
But wouldn't you be happier in Casterly Rock?
I said, darling.
You go try and send her away.
Are you trying to set a new record? Mother. Welcome.
Oh, no.
Marriage agrees with you. Can we bring you anything to eat or drink? I wish we had some wine for you. It's a bit early in the day for us.
The shade. The shade.
They'll ring the bells all day and night. Remember,
Oh.
anything you need.
It's just like, get me the hell out of here right now.
Yeah, Marjorie is getting the upper hand here.
Oh, she's pissed.
Like I said, the looks could kill. She's
Oh, well, we just talked about not seeing these people for a while.
Yeah.
Don't know that we wanted to see them, but here they are. Meanwhile, that conversation also revealed Olenna was in town and we didn't get to spend any time with her. What's going on?
I noticed that.
That is a crime.
Yeah, come on, bring her back. Ooh.
God.
What is with these people and the flaying of men?
We don't have enough men to hold the north if the other houses rise up against us.
Yay.
I had a pact with Tywin Lannister. The best way to forge a lasting alliance isn't by peeling a man's skin off. The best way is marriage. Now that you're
Seems like a more humane way to get things done. You know, marriage, flaying people.
I found the perfect girl to solidify our hold on the north.
It's gonna be Sansa, isn't it? Oh, well. I was thinking who else is left, you know? Sansa, you in danger in more ways than one. I mean, if those are your options, like
Yes,
the Boltons,
bit shabby, isn't it?
Littlefinger.
You've been here before.
Your marriage proposal, it wasn't for you.
No,
He serves the Lannisters.
for now.
I won't go.
You're not marrying Roose Bolton. No, you'll be marrying his son and heir, Ramsay. One
It doesn't
day
make it any better.
north and join Sansa.
No, you can't make me. I will starve myself. I will die before I have to go there.
Oh, come on.
Say the word and you turn the horses round, but listen to me. Listen. You've been running all your life.
Should have went with Brienne.
Honestly, where is she?
Your family and you weep. Stop being a bystander. Do you hear me? Stop running.
I don't like this speech.
No justice in the world. Not unless we make it.
She also could have just been up there with her other family if you hadn't pushed them out of the moon door, but you know.
Or she could have just even still stayed there.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
she would have been just fine in the Vale.
Now she's.
This is
gonna
what you get when you play with snakes, Sansa, thinking you can out-snake them.
Danger once again. I mean, it looks horrible over there. It looks, right away. Go save them.
How do we get?
Hurry, Brienne.
We don't. You beat the hound.
Yeah.
Proud to be your
Oh,
squire.
God.
I'm sorry I'm always snapping at you.
Aw,
If you didn't snap at me, I wouldn't learn anything.
they're becoming friends.
Yes.
Starting tomorrow, we'll train with the sword twice a day. Before we ride in
Yeah.
the camp in the evening.
Oh man, we're gonna get a night pod.
Thank you.
Hey, Brienne. And
I love it.
Brienne the Beauty, they called me. Great joke. And I realized I was the ugliest girl alive. A great lumbering.
Look at what I've seen. She's attractive. I mean, she's just tall. Like, what is what is this nonsense?
Renly Baratheon took me in his arm. He danced with me and none of the other boys could say a word. Renly was the king's brother after all.
Even in death, we're appreciating Renly even more, I
Yes.
suppose.
Yes, Pod, he liked men. I'm not an idiot. He didn't love me, he didn't want me. He danced
Damn.
with me because he was kind and didn't want to see me hurt.
How do you fight a shadow?
A shadow with the face of Stannis Baratheon.
Oh.
I know it was Stannis. I know it in my heart.
Well, the proof is in the pudding, I suppose, when the Shadow's face was his.
Stannis is a man, not a shadow.
Lord Commander. Regret.
Yay! Look at John sitting there in his new fancy office.
I was Lord Commander once. One day he might command. Have you considered
So I see he's still alive.
giving you the chance to avenge your family? To take back the castle where you grew up? To rule the North? I wish I could fight beside you.
That is tempting, I
Believe
suppose.
me, I do. You're as stubborn as your father. And as honorable. I can imagine no higher praise. I didn't mean it as praise. Honor got your father killed.
Ooh.
But if your mind's made up, I won't try and dissuade you.
May I ask, Your Grace, how long you plan to stay at Castle Black?
Are you bored of us already?
Oh.
The Night's Watch can't continue to feed your men and the wildling prisoners indefinitely.
Taking up too much space.
I assume the brothers of the Night's Watch would rather see the wildlings dead.
Most of the brothers, yes. There's little love for the free folk here.
You're the Lord Commander. Your decision.
Well, we're gonna pan over to the camera.
You have many enemies in Castle Black. Have you considered sending Alistair Thorne elsewhere?
Say something, Davos.
Davos, you've always been the one with words. Oh,
there you go.
Okay.
The shield that guards the realms of men. I pledge my life.
That's what you swore to be. Now, I'm not a learned man, but the best way to help the most people might not be sitting in a frozen castle at the edge of the world. What needs to be done? As long as the Boltons rule the North will suffer.
Yeah, we can see that already.
See, already Davos a more effective speech.
Literally, in like a 2-minute conversation, much more effective than anything Stannis did in that room.
Yeah. See, now John's like, well, shit.
What's all this then?
Who are you? What? You, who walk in here with a coin you never earned, whose value you do not respect.
Who is this? like honestly, just barging into my room, just read me to filth and beating me. Like,
Lie, sad little lie. Who are you?
I told you I'm not... Do that again!
ooh,
You're about to find out.
oh, that's what I mean.
What are you doing?
We're only playing. It's a game of faces.
How is it that no one came to be surrounded by Arya Stark's things?
I see the ball game we're getting into. And if he hadn't shown up for like a solid 5 seconds later, that chick would have been dead. Probably.
All right, is that enough with the games? I'm getting the sword.
That's what I mean. Like, who is this woman? Bye-bye, Arya stuff. Now she's got the new robes.
Come on, give the silver to somebody.
You would think, right? Like, don't just dump it in the ocean. We have to say goodbye to Needle. Oh man,
Not Needle.
we've had such great fond memories of Needle over these past 5 seasons. Damn, getting all emotional over a sword. That works too, I guess. Maybe.
He said I can't throw it in the water. We're gonna
I'll
put
just
you
bury
here.
it. Sword in the stone.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Arya's no one now. Here we go. Maybe.
Quite the glamorous assassin training Arya was anticipating.
Yeah, right. I mean, this is what you left the Hound for.
You also turned Brienne down for this.
Yeah. Option C is not looking too hot right now. No. Save them.
Lady Sansa, welcome.
Boo.
May I introduce my son? Ramsay Bolton.
More boo.
It's an honor to meet you.
This crazy bitch again.
I know.
The North remembers.
All right.
Oh.
Mr. Raymond? He apologizes for not being here. He's not feeling well.
Oh no. That man is like really old. I don't want, so he needs to be taken care of.
Not too well. Sir Alistair.
Mm-mm. You're fired.
You have more experience than any other ranger at Castle Black. I name you first ranger.
Yeah,
Okay.
unlike you, Sir Alistair, he doesn't let his personal feelings get in the way of the best choices.
Fight with kindness, I suppose.
That was a command, not an offer.
Yeah.
Take your arms and armor, say your farewells, and ride for Greyguard.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
Not
go.
meekly off to freeze and die.
Too bad.
My order.
You can stick your order up your bastard ass.
Well, we finally killed this man. Finally.
Take Lord Janice outside. Ollie, bring me my sword.
Ooh. Oh, Sir Alistair moves.
It's like, oh, you on your own. Bye bye. It's finally happening. Bye bye. Janice, it's not looking too good, my friend.
I was wrong. You're the Lord Commander. We all serve you.
Now he's all of a sudden.
I was wrong. Please, mercy. Mercy. I've always been afraid.
There it is. The wimp, Janice Slint, that we all expected. Oh!
Well.
Well, I'm happy, but now I'm conflicted. Damn, John. Even Stannis is like, damn, man, that's cold. Uh-oh. Can't even enjoy simple pleasures, huh?
Oh.
Rip him out of there with his clothes off and everything. Oh, full-on walk of shame, huh?
I heard this assault began in Littlefinger's brothel.
High Septon, this is a rather shocking thing to hear.
I tend to both the highest born and the lowliest amongst us. Even prostitutes may earn the mercy of the mother.
So you were ministering to the needs of the devout prostitutes.
It's not looking too good for you, my friend. Yeah, well, of course, of all people, he was going to be the one to defend. Man got beaten in the streets while he was naked, and he wants them all dead.
Nonsense. Young man said I'd find the High Sparrow back here. Where is he?
What's he doing in this show?
Like Lord Duckling or King Turtle.
Like, honestly, what is this man out of the blue doing in this show?
Ooh, Jonathan Price.
Like, of all people, I was not expecting Jonathan Price to just show up in this role.
We must do everything necessary to protect one another.
All right, that's fun. An unlikely alliance, I suppose. What the hell is this man doing?
No!
Ugh.
You're great.
Send a raven with the
Always on some freaky shit.
That and the little person heads and oh. Okay, so unfortunately he's still alive.
I hope I can make her happy.
Come on, two of the people I hate the most in the show together, speaking to one another.
I'll never hurt her. You have my word.
Really?
Sure, we all believe that.
I've heard very little about you.
Yet here you are in the north undermining them. Why gamble with your position?
Yeah, why are you talking that shit,
Every
Littlefinger?
ambitious man is a gamble.
He's just miserable and bored in this damn cabin.
I mean, wouldn't you if you're just chilling in that thing for so long?
Atlantis is a large city.
I have to get out of this wheelhouse. The likelihood of you being spotted here increases 100-fold.
One more drunk dwarf.
So we're going with the Thor Ragnarok kind of method. Let me just throw a little thing over my face and nobody will know I'm Tyrion Lannister.
Oh.
Oh.
Another server of the Lord of the Light. But she supports our queen.
You should have told me.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Tyrion is shook.
I said, like I said, I'll just this hood will nobody will know.
Oh shit. Why is she looking at me?
It's even better luck to suck a dwarf.
He's shook. He don't know what to say.
We blend right in. The mother of dragons.
I was gonna say, is that like a sexy cosplay of Daenerys that I'm not aware of? My guy! It's him, Jorah. I know he should have been calling over that mother of dragons.
Have another drink.
PTSD.
I can't do.
Yeah, we've already went through this
No one's
once.
more shocked than I am.
Oh. Show's almost over.
Sure, there are girls inside who'd be happy to oblige.
Oh. No!
Why don't you tell me?
After all the...
I'm taking you to the queen.
Oh. Jorah! Why? Damn! What the hell?
Well,
He's just like, yoink.
Jorah's back.
I mean, I don't know
Tyrion.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like, damn, I was like, oh, cool, he's back. And he's like, I'm just gonna kidnap you real quick.
Just gonna steal you real fast at the brothel.
A small person kidnapping.
You know, as you do, I guess, when
He's like, I'm
you
gonna
have
take
no
you back.
aim in life.
Poor Varys.
Like, oh, damn it, I told you we shouldn't have got off that damn cart. Meanwhile, it looks like Daenerys needs to get over to this Volantis city with all these damn slaves roaming around here.
People just dressing up like her.
Tattoos on their face and shit. I'm like,
I just want to know how she feel about these people dressing up like her, you know?
These whores selling themselves as Daenerys. These guys fantasizing about sleeping with her through the prostitute.
I mean,
is it really a coincidence that we found Jorah in the brothel that had the Daenerys prostitute?
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm pretty sure if maybe there's a extended version of that. We had saw like more of Jorah there. I assure you,
if we had come a date earlier.
Yeah, I assure you, he probably was with that Mother of Dragons cosplay at least once while he was down there, just to get that fix in.
Had to get it out of his system at least once.
Yeah, he got through that and is like, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna bring Tyrion.
Let me grab Tyrion real quick and hit up on out of here. Well, that was season 5, episode 3, High Sparrow. Well, we saw a little bit more of Arya and her training in this house of black and white. It involved a lot of sweeping and having some showdowns with this random girl.
Whoever that is.
Started whooping her. Almost got herself killed. Jaqen, or artist formerly known as Jaqen Hagar, comes in, says, look, if you want to really become a no-faced man, we have to make you no one. So time to get rid of all of Arya Stark's things. So Arya throws everything in the river, but she can't quite throw Needle in the river, so she hides it away in the rocks, in the stone, if you will. And then they are taken to this place with the dead bodies, and that's kind of where we end off with her. So how did you feel about Arya this episode?
Very interesting, I guess, because I guess you got to start somewhere when it comes to your training. You know, got to get rid of all your garb, become no one. I mean, that was one of the few things I did very much understand between all of the riddle that we were speaking inside of the house. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of unfortunate. We got to like bury away your past self to become this faceless no-bun person, and you do all the face swapping and all that stuff. Very intriguing to see where it goes next, just because, I mean, there's so many endless possibilities. I guess if that's step one, washing all these dead bodies and doing all this sweeping, hopefully there's some much more cool stuff to be had in the future, the immediate future, I should say. I don't know how long this whole training process is going to take and how strenuous it could be based on how many people are just dropping dead in this place.
They also need to get her to start cleaning higher. Like, we got to get away from just the floor. There's cobwebs up higher on these steps. We got to start wiping those down too, Ari.
We gotta get a ladder, I guess. We gotta build a ladder.
Well, then we see where Littlefinger is taking Sansa, and what that note was that he received while he was in the Eyrie from Roose Bolton.
What a
and
mess.
They are marrying Sansa to Ramsay. So at first, Sansa is adamantly against it. He gives her kind of a talk, makes it seem like, hey, this is the only way to get revenge and stop being a passive person. They then arrive in Winterfell. Yay. Brienne and Podrick still in the north, still following, but since they're not like escorted people, they can't just walk right in like Littlefinger and Sansa did. So she figures they're going to Winterfell. They just have to take a longer way to get around and get there. But in the process, finally, Brienne is connecting with Podrick a little bit.
It did take a while.
She's like, okay, fine. I should be nicer to you. Fine.
Now I've saved your life a few times and you've been nice to me, even while I've been mean to you.
And then we learn the root of her loyalty to Renly. And as you said, even all these seasons after he's dead, more things to make us at least like Renly as the person he was and wish he didn't die. So how did you feel about Sansa, the Boltons, and Brienne?
I mean, it sucks in the sense that, like, of course, Sansa has just been through so many horrible, traumatic events, and then they just continue to persist as the seasons go on. Now she's kind of being forced into marrying Ramsay Bolton, of all people, who we've seen be such an awful person. And of course, lying, be like, I'll never hurt her, do all this bull crap. And like, yeah, I mean, I could see it through that BS a mile away. So I'm nervous for her in that regard. Of course, from a strategic standpoint, of course, it makes sense, you know, when it comes to the Game of Thrones and the battles that are coming forward from it. I don't know. I hope Sansa gets out of there before it's too late. I don't know. Like I said, I feel bad for her because, you know, she takes one or two steps forward and then like she's forced to go back one or two steps all the time. And I just feel bad for her as a character. I guess that's kind of the point to it sense. I mean, she is, I guess, growing just through all this trauma. I'm hoping that she does eventually persevere. As far as the stuff with Brienne and Podrick, I thought that was actually really great. I mean, they didn't have like a lot of screen time, which is of course unfortunate because I like them so much, but they definitely made do with the screen time that they did have with one another. And also just getting to see more of Brienne and her opening up and seeing more of her as a character, her personality, her backstory. And just the stuff with Renly, you know, that stuff was also sweet to see more of the Renly backstory and the why she was so attached to him and wants to get revenge for his death so much because, you know, this shadow demon with Stannis's face. I'm hoping, I guess I'm hoping that she gets revenge. I mean, of course, that is something I do hope to see, but I also hope that she can potentially also save Sansa from this horrible situation down there. And the stuff with Podrick, you know, Podrick's potentially going to get trained by Brienne, so that could make for some very exciting moments in the future, and also funny ones just because they have such an interesting demeanor with one another, like in a, you know, their friendship, relationship, whatever you want to call their, you know, thing that they're doing. You know, it's been one of the more entertaining aspects just because you like them so much. So hopefully we get more. I'm hoping that one of them takes out some of these people down there so we don't have to see them anymore.
How did you feel about Littlefinger kind of trying to play both sides of the coin on the Lannister and the Boltons?
Well, he's always been shady like that. Like, that doesn't shock me that he's always been trying to play everyone. That just kind of seems like his nature. Like, whatever is the most appealing opportunity for him at the time, that seems to be which way he goes. And he's always been just kind of like a slimy individual. So that's always why I've kind of preferred Varys, because Varys, of course, you know, he has his own motivations as well, but I think he's just less devious about them compared to Littlefinger. Of course, he does have a guy in a box somewhere that we haven't seen in a very long time, but other than that, you know, there's a lot of gray area with a lot of these characters in Game of Thrones, so you kind of have to take some good with the bad with all of them. But I would say for the majority of Littlefinger's decisions throughout all 5 seasons of the show so far, they've pretty much all been like creepy, gross, you know, nefarious kind of stuff. Like, I've just never liked him. You know, I'm never going to like him. I've never trusted him. And he's showing that nobody should trust him as more characters are seeing that, because he's talking smack about these people he was so loyal to. And why would I be loyal to you when you're clearly talking smack about these people you're supposed to be loyal to?
Well, then a little bit further north, we see Stannis one more time come to Jon and try to get him to accept the offer and join up arms with him, and he'll name him Stark. I kind of would have thought Jon accepting the role of Lord Commander would have been enough to kind of send the message to Stannis.
Yeah,
but he's stubborn. He's very hard-headed. He doesn't have a good way with people, as we've talked about pretty much throughout Stannis' entire run on the show.
He's very cold, like as a person, and a lot of the time when he does need like a personality, if you will, or try to convince people to do things, he has Davos do it.
Yeah, which is exactly kind of what happened again. Is Stannis going on, and Jon just being like, no. And Davos comes in and at least makes Jon think about it more, puts it into terms and like a broader perspective. But then we see Jon being Lord Commander, doling out roles, and we quickly see why he's a much better choice for leader than Sir Alistair, because he's actually making smart decisions based on your abilities and not just because he doesn't like you, which is exactly what Sir Alistair did to Jon.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And in one of those decisions, he wanted to send Janis Slynt to a place Slynt did not want to go, and he made it very vocal and decided to disrespect his Lord Commander now.
Not very smart.
And it ended up getting him executed.
Straight up, like immediately.
Which in a move that felt very much like Ned, because it's kind of what we saw from Ned in the first episode.
Like the very first things we saw in the entire show, yeah.
But it didn't quite feel like Jon. I feel like Jon has always been honorable like Ned, and a little bit stubborn like Ned, but he's always also been a little bit warmer than Ned was. So
yeah, well, that's why it took me off guard.
No, no mercy.
That's what I was shocked by. When you're gonna ask me what my thoughts about that, because I was shocked. Because I figured he was gonna be like, actually, nah. You said you asked for mercy, you apologize. I'll give you this one warning. I'll send you there, because then like, nope, chopped head off. Oh,
it was done deal. Yeah. So I guess starting right there, how did you feel about everything with the Night's Watch and Stannis?
Well, I did like the conversation in the sense that, it clearly showed that Jon is honorable, as he always has been, for the most part. And, his duties to the Night's Watch over the whole being a Stark and being honored and all that stuff. So at least he's still pretty much been loyal 100% to the Night's Watch, other than the stuff with the wildlings, which is, kind of a gray area. Like I said, there's gray area for everyone. So everyone has their, everyone has their mistakes. But yeah, I mean, he's doing, at least, I guess, for the most part that we've seen, we haven't seen too much, but it looks like he's doing a much better job leading when it comes to assigning positions, as you said. And I guess laying down the law and showing everybody that he means business, because you don't want to look like a weak leader as well. Like, people will just get to chastise you in front of your entire people you're supposed to lead. And I guess in that sense, even though he's always been like a more warm, honorable character, he kind of just had to lay down the law. I guess that's kind of like in the same vein as his brother as well, because Rob chopped that guy's head off too, and even though that kind of ended up backfiring on him. But I don't know.
I guess hope this doesn't backfire on Jon.
Well, with it being Janis Slynt, I don't think so.
Sir Alistair at first was like, should I? No, you know what? Actually, take him
You're
away.
on your own. Yeah,
you said that dumb shit on your own. I'm out.
I mean, he's always been such a terrible character, even before he got sent to the wall. So I mean, I guess it was satisfying in the sense that he finally it's over with. But I really was surprised that he was taken out in that way, just because Jon Snow hasn't really been that kind of person. We've seen him kill people, of course, but just not in that fashion, and then like in this role. So it was jarring, but like a decent kind of jarring, I guess, if you will.
We see Marjorie and Tommen in easily the most uneventful wedding in Game of Thrones history. Just happens, doesn't take up a full episode. We quickly move along, and
we saw what happened last time.
And we quickly get into bed. Marjorie's like, I'm not wasting time. This go round, I can't let you die before we start consummating this damn marriage. I need to solidify my queenhood.
Immediately.
And immediately, upon just one night, she's already got Tommen whipped, like hard whipped.
Wasted no time. Immediate.
and immediately started spinning the web that she had let her brother know she would be spinning quickly.
That was always the plan. So
laying those seeds to send Cersei away.
Right. Yeah.
And Tommen quickly followed suit, asking, said, wouldn't you be happier in Casterly Rock? And
She's
Cersei
confused. Yeah.
Cersei, I think, went there with the intention of, oh shit, I better butter Marjorie up a little bit better. I better be a little bit nicer to her so that she doesn't completely turn my son against me. But also quickly learned Marjorie is full on in this game, girl. She was holding back no punches when Cersei came to visit. But later we see the Lancel religious zealot group break again, grabbing the High Septon, flogging him naked through the streets. Since he's a religious man in the brothel, he comes begging for justice and murder them all from Cersei. And Cersei decides to do the opposite, grabs him and throws him in jail.
Yeah.
And
not a great move there.
Visits the High Sparrow, who, surprise, is Jonathan Pryce.
Yeah, that was jarring to me. Like, I was like, what is he doing in this? Like, out of nowhere.
Yeah. And she seems to be wanting to put him in the power of the religious groups of King's Landing. So, yeah, we'll see, I guess, where that goes. But how did you feel about all of the King's Landing story this episode?
Well, the Tobin Marjorie stuff was fun in the wrong ways, I suppose, at first, as we did have a laugh because they finally consummated the marriage. Tobin was like ready, just full on, I just want to do this 24/7, screw all the king stuff. He was ready. I mean, I think we all knew that Marjorie was going to continue to try and sink her claws into him because, I mean, we all knew that was the plan. And it's working, and of course that upsets Cersei because that's her child. And, it's not, she's losing the power. She's definitely losing the power, especially with Tywin being dead, Jaime being away somewhere. I guess Dorne, but we haven't gotten to that yet, I guess. But, there's not very many Lannisters left in power. So as you see, as the episodes are going on, the Lannisters aren't being, they're not as powerful as they once was. I think some characters have said that before in the past as well. And it's true. She's really trying her best to just maintain, it seems like, whether it be trying to be nice to Marjorie just so she doesn't get sent away or murdered or whatever. And maybe this move with this crazy religious group is another I guess another way that she can try and maintain some power. They seem very crazy, like at least for what we've seen, where they're just gonna walk into these brothels and beat you and let you walk naked down the street. So I don't know what that'll entail as far as punishments go in that position of power. But yeah, I mean, I think the Cersei versus Marjorie stuff has been some of the more entertaining background side story kind of stuff going on. Because I wouldn't say it's like a main story, but it's still like fun enough that like I would love to see more of it if there was going to be more of it in episodes in the future, which I'm sure there will be, as Tommen, I guess, has to actually be the king now. Marjorie's got the full-on queen duties, so I don't know, Cersei. You would look like you in danger.
Then our final story, we see Tyrion and Varys still making their way slowly but surely to Meereen. And Tyrion is just like, look, I can't. I am losing my freaking mind. I need to get out of here. So they're in Volantis, an old still slave city, and they go to a brothel, as Tyrion is wont to do. And on their way, we see another red priestess who is talking to the slaves of Volantis and giving them a sermon on the Lord of the Light, but also getting them hyped up for Daenerys as their savior queen that rose from the flames, which I guess makes sense that they would support Daenerys, seeing as fire is kind of their thing. But she also stared down Tyrion and had him running away quick.
I don't know what that stare down was all about, but he was ready to just leave once it started happening.
Well, then we see, as she was heavily talked about, the prostitute dressed as Daenerys, showing her impression in the city as everywhere, even though clearly she hasn't been there because they still have slaves. So I don't know if the slave masters in the city are quite as hyped to see Daenerys come along as the others, but she's made her impression known. But Poor Tyrion, still kind of struggling with the whole Shay thing. Can't get himself to sleep with the prostitute. He goes out to pee off the side of a building. Wonderful. And then Jorah, surprise, snatches him up and
What the
takes
hell,
him
man?
captive. And that's where we end the episode. So how'd you feel about everything with Tyrion, Varys, and the return of Jorah?
Well, I mean, there wasn't like a large amount of stuff to discuss with them, but I mean, they're still always entertaining as those characters are. Tyrion, understandably is just restless being stuck in this, box for forever. So it's nice that he's going to get out and do some stuff, even if it didn't work out for him, I guess, in the long run, since it did kind of backfire since he gets kidnapped in the end. It's nice to see that he's still struggling with what he had to do with Shay and just the PTSD, if you will, of Shay and basically everything involved with that, why he couldn't get with that prostitute. Nice to see Jorah. We have been wondering where he had been, because at least I have, especially because it's like, where the hell is he? And I guess it's kind of hilarious that he's in this brothel where there's a Daenerys cosplayer prostitute. I don't know if there's another backstory behind that, like if there's like maybe some cut scenes, or maybe if we got more of the big picture, they probably hooked up at some point. Just have, who knows how long he's been there. I imagine he could have been there for weeks, days, months, however much time has passed. Not sure what entails when it comes to kidnapping Tyrion and taking her to the queen. Yeah, that was a surprise. That was definitely like, oh, I'm happy Jorah's here. And then he kidnaps Tyrion as he's peeing off the side of a building. So I don't know where that's going to go, but I will be intrigued to see, I guess, Jorah interact with the queen again. Woohoo.
Well,
yay, maybe.
I guess that's a good place to lead into predictions. So across the storylines, we've got Jorah capturing Tyrion. Jon is the new Lord Commander, making moves up there. We have Arya continuing her training. We have Sansa being betrothed to Ramsay, and we have Cersei fighting a battle against Marjorie and enlisting this High Sparrow and his religious group. So what are your predictions moving forward?
Well, I feel like after what Jon did, everyone there will probably fall in line, because they're gonna get their head chopped off if they don't. And I know they were talking about stuff with Tormund as well, and seeing if he'll be a lot more susceptible or easy to speak to as the wildlings. I guess he's the leader of the wildlings now, with Mance Rayder being killed. That's at least what it seemed like from what they were saying with Stannis, that they're gonna try and talk to him. I guess he's like the next in line, so that's fun. I liked Tormund and all the times we've seen him before. Yeah, that Cersei Marjorie battle struggle for power, that's gonna be an exciting thing to watch. I hope it takes more front and center storyline purposes, just because it is just fun, shadiness, if you will, the battle between them. I don't know how long that whole stuff with Arya is going to go on for, with her training to become a no one. I guess become no one. It's just a funny way to say it, but I figure that's going to continue. I will be intrigued to see what the next step is from the cleaning bodies, and then how do you go from cleaning bodies to like becoming people, and then you could like tear their faces off of you and whatever that entails. I don't know. I mean, just based on the past Sansa stuff, like it's not looking too good for her, just because that just seems to be the common thing for her, is that she's put in these terrible situations, and then they usually just play out for a while. I don't know. I hope Brienne and Podrick go down and save her, or at least take out some people along the way. And hopefully Tyrion survives and has a fun time being delivered to the queen, I guess.
Hopefully Jorah doesn't just kill her.
Yeah, and I guess I hope there's a reasoning behind why Jorah's doing this, because otherwise it just feels very bizarre. Is this like a way for him to get back in her good graces? Like, I've brought you Tyrion, please bring me back. I'm tired of being in these brothels alone.
Perfect. Well, who were your faves and least faves for the episode?
Faves, Jon was pretty great. Brienne, Tyrion, even if he had a limited role. Podrick, I guess, too. But, he's just there. Least faves, of course, Ramsay. Ramsay's always there. Basically everyone there, I suppose. Bruce Bolton, Littlefinger. Well, I guess Arya would be a fave as well, even if she kind of was just, she's still on her mission, if you will. Well, Marjorie was also a character I really enjoyed this episode, as she's getting her claws sunk into Tommen. Trying to think. Janice Slint, I guess he has to go on there because he was being a little jerk up until the end.
One final time to put you on the least faves, Janice.
Yep, I guess that'll do it. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anyone I'm missing. Some of these characters are kind of in the middle, like Cersei's being mean, but like I don't know because I like her being mean sometimes. So it's like I like her, but she's supposed to be bad. No Daenerys this week. That was an interesting omission from this episode. Everyone in her storyline, I suppose, as well. No Osha and them still. I guess they and Bran.
No sign of Bran yet.
Just when it seemed like Bran's storyline was getting hot and interesting, they're just like, you don't need to hear about them for a while.
All right. Well, that was season 5, episode 3, High Sparrow. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on all of my latest videos, including each and every one of our Game of Thrones reaction videos. Also, make sure that you are subscribed and following Tyler across the interwebs. Tyler, do you want to let them know where to find you?
Well, as I say many times before, you can find me here for Game of Thrones, Daredevil with Hannah. We're trying to get another one of those up very soon, if not by the time this is uploaded. Another series that we're talking about still in negotiations for. And of course, Larry Laleo and I do the sports talk stuff. Hopefully I'll come out on top this week whenever this airs. Like I said, I don't know when these air, but I hope I come out on top this week, whatever week it ends up coming out. You can find me all of those on Larry's channel. Of course, I'm here pretty often, it seems like, but you can also find me on my own channel by searching up my name for reviews, reactions, all that stuff over on my channel. And you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at It's Tyler Calvert.
Perfect. And we look forward to hearing from you on your thoughts when it comes to season 5, episode 3. What do you think? Do you think Jorah hooked up with that woman in the brothel at some point? Let us know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit either one of us up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. We'll see you next time. Bye.